Good morning, traders. Today is Thursday, October 14th. My name is Charles, and this is the Pirate Traders live stream. All right, guys. Well, I'm starting a little late today, so I'll jump right into it. So we had some positive news overnight that gave us a little push higher, and I think it was on the bank earnings is what people were looking at. Correct me in the chat if I'm wrong about that, but there's definitely some kind of good news that came out that pushed the market higher in the overnight. And so when we're opening this morning, I thought it was worth noting on the daily, we've been talking about this downtrend that's existed in the market and that we can't be certain about any of our lows holding until we break that downtrend. Well, we're opening right on top of it this morning, and so I thought it was good to make note of that. If we do have a bullish day today and the market continues to trade higher, we will be breaking through that downtrend, which could potentially mean we put in a low. Okay, it could mean this is a good low here and that we're ready to start moving higher if we can have a bullish day today and push higher. Now, does that mean we will have a bullish day? Not at all. We're right up against this resistance. We're right up against this downtrend. So we could just as easily turn around and trade lower today as well and still continue lower. So it doesn't mean that we're out of the ballpark here for bearishness, but it just means that we can keep an eye on that, and it's worth noting. Okay. So looking at the overnight inventory, it's 100% net long, so I would expect some sort of counter auction to the downside after the open. But that being said, there will be a big gap here. And so that gap fill is the first thing that we're watching, right? We're watching, does the market try to trade down, which it should, as part of the counter auction of that overnight inventory, and then how far down does it go? If it fails to get all the way back to yesterday's high, at about 43.65, then that is bullish, right? If it finds support anywhere in here and then it turns around and starts trading higher, that is bullish as a gap and go. Also, if it gets down to yesterday's high, right, trades down to here, bounces around and finds some support and then starts trading higher, that is bullish as well as a gap and go. Okay, it's only if it pulls back down into yesterday's range. So if the market opens, it pulls back down into yesterday's range, comes back up, finds resistance, and it can't get back above yesterday's high, that is bearish. And we'll be looking for a trade down to the opposite end of yesterday's range, so towards yesterday's low. But with a gap this big, oftentimes they fail to fill on the first day, and they just either rotate up here or they trend higher. So first focus is that counter auction to the downside, and do they fill the gap? All right, well, so far it's just kind of bouncing around up here above the opening price. Again, we should expect some sort of counter auction to the downside here. And the higher they find support, the more bullish it is. They can come all the way down and fill the gap. And if they find support at yesterday's high, that is still bullish. Obviously, like I said, the higher they find it, though, the more bullish. Good morning, Mangala. Good to see you. Welcome. David back with us. Good morning to you. RK Leon, good to see you. Welcome. Freddie back with us. Good morning. Bob Smith, good morning to you. Vincent is here. Good to see you. Jay Trader, good morning. RK Leon with a little warning about going short early this morning. Miles, good morning to you. Welcome. Philip, good to see you. JG with the GM. Mangala, thank you for the reminder. Please smash that like button. Nick, good morning to you. Rainier, good morning to you as well. Jose, good morning to you. And Nicholas, good to see you. Jitten, do you think 95 holds? No, I don't. Like I said, I think there'll be some kind of counter auction to the overnight inventory, which means a push lower. But where it finds support, I do not know. The higher up it finds it, the more bullish it is, right? So it could be right here in this node of volume around 82-ish. If it finds support in here and starts trading higher, that would be bullish to me. Might be around the half back, 75-ish. And then just above the gap, although I would say if we got this close to filling the gap, we'd likely just fill it. But yeah, anywhere in there that it finds support, I'm happy to go with it. Miles says, hard to tell, could be buyers there. I don't know. The ticks, they're not giving us a clear picture yet because they're still above the zero line, but they seem to be pushing hard to the downside. So there does seem to be sellers piling on here. How much will they get for it? I don't know. All right, buyers starting to step in here, starting to push those ticks back up. If they can hold these levels and push higher from here, that would be extremely bullish. Also, the A period high is a poor high because it's the same as the overnight. So for those of you that are new to the channel, a poor high just means that it increases the odds that at some point in the day the market will come back and repair it and get a few ticks above it. It's like a magnet that pulls on price to pull the high back up there. But once it's through, like that right there, then that magnet is gone. So now new buyers need to step in here to keep the momentum going. But it looks like that's what's happening. So now if this is going to become a trend up here, a gap and go bullish trend, we should start to see little nodes of volume form. Then the market pushes higher, another little node pushes higher, so on and so forth. Oof. And then obviously also when we pull back down into previous support or resistance, we'd want to see that hold. So we want this red node right here to continue to hold as support right around 97. If the market pulls back down and gets back down towards these lows around 91, That is a look above and fail of the overnight range. And that means that what we saw right there was just a repair of the poor high. But if they can keep bringing in the buyers here and make this support, they can continue pushing higher. All right, we got a gap and go. We got value higher. We repaired a poor high, pulled back down, and now we're building support. Internals are all looking pretty good here. So this is looking pretty bullish. All systems go for a green day. Let's see if we can get some momentum building. Anyone bullish in the chat? How you guys feeling? It's a little quiet this morning. Can I get some thumbs up? Can I get some likes? 43 out of 116. We can do better than that. Yes, sir. They got me bullish. So what we should see now is we should see the market pushes higher like that, pulls back down, builds support, gets another push higher, comes back down, builds support, another push higher, comes back down, builds support. We should see it trending higher like this with the volume. All right, few people turning bullish in the chat. Good to see you guys. River Rock mentioning the low volume. Yeah, volume should spike a little bit as more FOMO buying steps in. People are like, oh no, I don't want to miss it. Was yesterday the low? River Rock trying to buy 50%. Do you mean the halfback? The 50% retrace at 43.96.50. That would be a great buy. Right in the support. Could have a nice tight stop. Obviously, if the market starts to trade back below the opening price from here, that will mean it needs to go fill the gap a bit more. At this point, it should start to continue to build volume and push higher if that's what it's going to do today. So if you got in a halfback, you could have a pretty tight stop. River Rock, hit that like button, please. Jitten 4440 getting sold. It is getting sold, but that selling is getting absorbed. So it's probably more profit taking than new money selling. Don't forget the whole overnight is net long. It's a lot of people holding long positions right here. Internals are starting to turn down on us, though. Advancers versus decliners starting to trend lower, and both the ticks. Yeah, Miles, that downtrend line on the daily, that's a great point as well. That's looming above us. Sitting at about 4406. All right, I'm going to run and freshen up my coffee. Back in 2 minutes. If the market starts to push below that opening price, ignore this green banner because we might get a further pullback into the gap. But if it finds support just above there, so in between, say, 95 and 97.50, that would be bullish. All right. Well, River Rock, did you get your fill at 96.50? Did we quite make it down there? So the market is now one time framing higher. We also know that they did successfully bring in support there. So that should hold moving forward if the market pulls back down into this range. All right, well, that's quite a push. A little bit of short covering happening in there. We're now pushing into that trend line, that resistance above on the daily. So you guys can see there's that daily trend line. We're just pushing up into that right now. So if we're able to push through that, that would be very bullish. Well, across the boards, things are looking good here. Gap and go. Value is higher. The market is one time framing higher. We're pushing higher and then building volume. Pushing higher and starting to build volume. So all of this is looking good for a continuation of the trend higher. Lots and lots of targets to the upside in need of repair, weak references. Harry, where to take profit? Well, it's up to you, man. You know, let's say you got in down here right about where the halfback is now. If the market's going to pull back down again, it should find support there. So you could either put a stop loss above that level and then put another order in to buy there. Or you could just, keep your stop in a nice safe place, for example, below the opening price, and just let the market run. See how long they can continue to one-time frame higher. Of course, we don't really officially count it as one-time framing anymore unless it lasts into the C period, because these market trending one direction for the A and B period and then reversing and going the other thing is happening a lot lately. So we won't officially consider it a trend until the C period continues to one-time frame higher. But at that point, you can pretty much just let it go, let it run as far as it can to the upside. The opening drive, exactly, Donkey. Now we do have some low volume nodes in here that need some backfilling. Only 162 contracts right here. But on a trend day, it can leave those behind. But it wouldn't be unreasonable for the market to pull back into here, put in a little volume in here, build up some support, and then continue higher. Jesus, 120,000 shares of SPY? That's a big order. That's a big meatball. SPY's at 44. 440 is the price of SPY. So if they bought 120,000, it's a cool $528 million. Half a billion dollars. Well, hopefully whoever that buyer is really trusts that low from yesterday. That was the swing low. Of course, yeah, part of a spread or a hedge. It's probably just like Bridgewater Associates, just shifting out of one thing into another. Like a small percentage of the portfolio. Oh, we're just going to make a little shift this morning. All right, well, I don't love the ticks here, but this market is bringing in buyers for the next push higher. Oh, those ticks are starting to trend down. Where are the buyers at? Where's the FOMO at, guys? Let's FOMO. Stonks only go up. Money printer goes burr. Where's it at? They keep on running. Yeah, they keep on running. They keep on running. All right. Is this resistance, or are we building support at a higher price? Man, very tough call to make. Looks like support. They want another push. Mr. Knifert. That sounded funny rolling off the tongue. Mr. Knifert. No, I do not share trades. I do not share them in a stoop. I do not share them with the group. I do not share them. Not at all. But I will share a market call. A bullish trend we have right here. But the tick's going down. Where will they steer? No, I don't share my trades. Just because I don't trade as good when I do. But I do keep everyone posted on what I think is happening in the market. Which is, it feels to me like we're running out of buyers here. May need a little pullback. Those ticks are starting to trend to the downside. Obviously, we're looking for support at the 0 line in the ticks. And we're assuming as long as the advancers versus decliners stay pegged up here at this higher price, meaning they just kind of stay flat across this level, we assume every dip is buyable. So we're basically just waiting to see where does the market pull back and find support. And then likely going to buy that dip. It might be right here in the 44.08 area. We might have to pull back down towards the halfback at the 44.02 area. But wherever it feels like the market is finding support, I will go long. Wait, Donkey, are you for real? Do I have a tell when I'm in a trade? Nasally voice? Everything looks great with the market here. Looks like we're pushing higher. Oh boy, I don't know what it's going to do. Oh, is it going to keep going? Alpha Trader, it's weak selling at 44.14. Which is the POC from 10.7? Thoughts? I don't know that I would call the selling weak. Oh, yeah, we're just pushing into that node of volume, so that'll be some resistance in there. Not because of the POC, but because of the volume. So likely going to take a bit of grinding to work our way through that. Good catch. Jonathan, I think that's a Brigade room joke. I don't know if that's a public stream joke. Uh, Speaking of the Brigade room, switching on over in 5 minutes. All right, well, we got bad taper on the high, so we should have one more push higher to at least put in some more two-sided trade up there. So I'm still just looking for support every time it pulls back here. Can the buyers hold it up? When we print the C period in a couple minutes, we will leave behind quite a few single prints in the B period. So it would make sense, or, not that it has to, but it could come back down and backfill those single prints. And then you would look for support right around the base of those single prints, giving you a nice area to go long for a cessation trade if the trend is going to continue. And of course, as long as when that C period prints, as long as it stays above the B period low, so basically stays above the 43.99.25 level, the market should continue trending higher. If it can stay above. Jonathan, Brigade room? Tell us more, Charles. No, we all know. Everyone here knows the story. They know the deal. For $10 a month, they can hang out the full day. They're thinking about it. They're saying to themselves every day, man, should I just join? What if he says something throughout the day that I find valuable? Maybe I should just join. It's only $10. All right, and there is the printing of the C period. There are those single prints left behind. So now we just need to see if the C period low stays above the B period low. If so, we look for the market to continue trending higher. It also would not be a bearish thing for it to pull back down and backfill these single prints. That would be perfectly normal, healthy move for the market. And we'd be looking for support right around that 44.03 level. Thank you all so very much for joining me, and I will be back here tomorrow morning. I hope to see you all then. Thank you very much. Goodbye.